Hello and welcome to this initial impressions video from Backwards Compatible. Today we're looking at Grid Autosport. It's a new game from Codemasters. It came out last week I believe, and it's basically a multidisciplinary racing game. Now Codemasters for myself have always been a excellent single discipline. Between the Dirt series and the F1 series, they've just made games which are tons of fun to play, but very good sort of simulation style, from the Gymkhana events in Grid to the fact of the qualifying and the full race weekends in F1. So this game is something a bit different. Last year they released Grid, which Grid had its issues, but that was more of a street racing, muscle car, trying to also a bit of a bash there, sort of game. And the interesting thing is that they've kept Grid in here, in essence. So they've reused some of the tracks and the cars, and you can see where they have that print, which is just one of the, which is the street racing, which is kind of, which is the mini cup. But you look there and you think, well, they've obviously kept a lot of the Grid system in, but they've improved upon it. So this is just a mini hot hatch race basically. So it's one of the easiest ones to do, truthfully. They're easy to control. You can give it a little bit of bump and grind. This damage is on full, by the way, so if I do crash out I'm gone. But it's one of those sort of races where, when you do race in the open wheels, which are like Formula 1 but not Formula 1 because that's obviously under licence, and the endurance cars, you take a bash and you lose control and you spin, and that gives you that essence of risk reward. So sometimes some of the games, obviously you can just put cosmetic damage on and then you bump and your door will be hanging off, but you'll still go full speed. Whereas when you have damage on full, if you take a crash, then you're gone basically, which is interesting. The other thing that you find is that there's not a lot of rubber banding. So if you crash out on your 12th, and you've got 3 laps to go, you're not going to come first. It's that simple. There's just not enough time, and the leader will stay ahead. You might take a few places back, but you're going to be taking the back markers. You're not going to be able to get back up front, and that's quite good. It means that every single place you fight for is worth it. So I enjoy that because it makes it harder. Now I've intentionally put flashbacks on this just because I tried to do it and I've made bloody too many mistakes and it ruins the game, and then I'm just training in the back with nothing. But there is that thing where I think Grid was kind of ruined a bit by the close contact in terms of online play, and you do find that the drivers in this game are pretty aggressive actually, the AI. So it will be one of those things where, especially when you're coming to the open wheel, that if someone does take you out, you're going to feel mighty annoyed. But again, that means that you can also use a little bit of body contact to help you gain places. Again, obviously with the open wheel, that's not something I would suggest because you will lose complete control. Or of course, you can just put visual damage on only, so that's fine. So the game structure works a little bit in the same sort of way as Dirt and Grid. You build up points to get sponsors, and then those sponsors will take you on. You've lost that kind of silly narrative that you had in Grid 2 with the social media stuff. This is basically just please your sponsors, get more XP. The more XP you get, the better sponsors you get. The better sponsors you get, the more XP you get, and so on and so forth. But what's a bit tricky and quite good about it is if you play the lower setting you play, the less XP you get. So you get a multiplier. So when you play on the very easy level, you get 0. When you play on the medium, I think it's 24. Which is what I'm playing on. I haven't truthfully I haven't tried the hard yet because the game's quite tough, we'll say. But the great thing is that if you might start in 12th, but they don't expect you generally to get first until you really level up. The team are happy for you to achieve 5th. So you choose your parameters generally to begin at the beginning. It's either get 5th in the championship or 8th in the championships, which is fine. And then obviously as you start to build up levels, you then have to decide whether you want to be first or second. But each one of those then just feels more realistic to it. When you're a start out driver in a rubbishy car, you shouldn't be coming first because that's just awful. Ooh, penalty. So that's obviously that's another quite good thing is go over the white lines and you get a slow down penalty, which is bloody annoying when it happens. But again, it just shows you the fact that the game is hopefully cracking down a little bit on some of the cheats, like me basically. I haven't played online yet. That's something that we'll look into in a bit, but for initial impressions, got to say it really is, it seems to be a really good game. there are obviously quite a few driving games left to come out, things like Project Cars and things like that, but at the moment I think this is probably the best release we've had in a while, so it's definitely worth taking a look at. Obviously we'll give you a full review as time goes on, but for the moment, see if I can get a second of it. I'm not going to. So I mentioned about the fact, oh damn, cheated a little bit. I mentioned the fact that putting rewinds on there. What you can do in this is you can change your setting as you will. So now probably I'm not going to need them at all. So last 3 times I've tried to record, I've crashed out 3 bloody times, and now I'm not going to, but I'm going to come third. So it feels like that you've actually worked quite hard for the third. It doesn't feel like they've gifted it to you, which is good. You know, the back markers will always be easy to take, but it does feel like the front markers don't make a lot of mistakes, which is again means that the game is that a little bit more challenging, and I've rubbished up. So thank you very much for watching. Look out for some more grid videos, because this is a game that I'm quite enjoying. So thank you very much, and do click like if you liked. Take care.